seems to wind down, we still see disturbing news at times, such as how a cruise ship had passengers that were forced into quarantine, or you might have seen that hospitalizations are going up in some areas. We want the numbers to go down, but are they doing that? Well, let's get to the bottom of this and talk about testing so we can be ready if someone does get sick. With us today is Dr. Gavin Macgregor-Skinner, a Senior Director of GBAC. Hello, Gavin.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good. Hope you don't have COVID.
No, I don't, because I have an at-home test, Jeff.
Let's talk about that, at-home tests. The numbers are going up in some places. You know, when we were talking earlier, I said, are at-home tests an important topic today? What do you say?
Oh, I think it's important. We haven't actually understood that this is a most amazing, incredible thing. We now have here in the US and in many parts other countries of the world, the ability to test for an infectious disease. There's lots of infectious diseases out there, Jeff. We just don't have the ability to do that. In about less than 2 years of this coronavirus, this COVID-19 pandemic, science, technology, manufacturers, scientists have developed an at-home test. The problem is, Jeff, they're free. Well, that's a good thing, but the problem is no one uses them properly.
And that's what I want to talk about, using them. I got some myself, and there's no directions. I did the QR code. It just tells me what lot number it is. I can go to the App Store and get directions. I'm not going to show you which one I have. It's supposed to be a government one, but it's not made in this country. I'm confused. So Gavin, tell us, when should we use them? How to use them?
Okay, so this is really important, Jeff, to use them properly. And I want to emphasize to everyone in the clean industry, anyone who watches this video, go to covid.gov, COVID.gov, where you can get 2 sets of free tests. Now, what that means, in each kit, there's 4 tests. Times that by 2, that's 8. But the problem with the government website, Jeff, is you've got to put in 2 orders. So you would assume, oh, I'm going to put in 1 order and I get my 8 tests. No, you only get 4 tests. You've got to go and order it a second time, and then USPS delivers it. So when that happens, then you've got to learn how to use the test. Where's the YouTube video? I clicked on my QR code. I went to a video, and they said, go into the box and find the written instructions. I went, no, I want to see someone shove a swab up their nose. I want to see how to do it.
Let's talk about that. What should you swab, Gavin? Didn't you travel recently and they didn't test your nose?
Okay, so we've gone through different variants, mutations of the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. We had Alpha, Delta. Now we've got Omicron, and then we had Omicron BA1, and then it's sister. I think it's a sister or a brother. I'm not sure what the relationship is, but it's BA2. But we're seeing some changes, Jeff. Remember that we talked earlier about people getting COVID saying, "Oh, I lost my sense of smell." We're not seeing a lot of that right now. What we're seeing with BA2 or with Omicron variant, people getting sore throats, and that's called pharyngitis, and that's an inflammation of the back of the throat. Really, really sore throats. So that's where the virus is. And now our instructions are put the swab up the nose. Now, I traveled to England, I've traveled to Singapore, I've traveled to Australia, and I was a little bit shocked because I lined up ready to get the thing up my nose and they put it down my throat. And I said, why have you done that? Because that's where the virus is. Unfortunately, our FDA, our government here, our federal government in the US has not changed the requirements. You can take these at-home tests like the one I've got here, and you can swab just about anything, because all you're doing is looking for viral antigen. That's protein on the surface of the virus, and that could be anywhere. That will give you a positive test. So again, really important that we swab where the virus is most likely to be.
Okay, well, I guess that's up to the experts to do that. Gavin, what should the cleaning industry know now about these tests?
First thing, Jeff, they're free. Get them. They're not that accurate when you don't have symptoms, but when you do have symptoms, you use the swab. And if you swab on maybe day 1 or day 2, it's not as accurate as the lab test, that PCR test. But on days 3, 4, and 5, they're getting more accurate. Now, the way you do it is you swab not just once and go, oh, I'm sick with symptoms and I'm negative. No, you swab again in 2 days' time. And the problem I have, Jeff, is I can't swab myself. And a lot of the instructions we see is, yeah, take the swab, and you, the person, the individual, shut up your nose. I can't do that. So get someone else in your house, in the family or you work with, to do the swab up your nose. I just can't do it. And don't just do it once, do it multiple times, because you're going to get 8 tests for free from the government. But more importantly, Jeff, if you have symptoms, you're sick with something, you have some infectious disease, you don't need to know what variant you have. That's not important. Your neighbor won't know that. Your family. When you have symptoms, you're sick with an infectious disease, wash your hands regularly with soap and water or hand sanitizer, and stay away from people until those symptoms go away.